Okay, so a third way of solving a quadratic equation. Of course, we had solving by factoring. We could solve using the graphing calculator, but using the quadratic formula is nice when you have answers that will come out as decimals. Maybe it's a repeating decimal, or maybe it's an irrational number that goes on and on and on forever. The decimal does, and never repeats, never terminates. So be sure to have the quadratic formula either memorized or written down on your note card. I recommend memorizing it, especially if you're going on to additional math classes. So I'm going to show you a fun way to memorize this to the tune of Pop Goes the Weasel. If you didn't hear it before in class, you're going to get it in the review because I just like doing it. So here we go. Sing with me if you like. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's plug in the numbers. We have 1 for our a value. A is the number in front of your x squared. -4 is the b. -5 is the c. Be sure that you take the sign with it. So we've got x equals -4 plus or minus the square root of -4 squared minus 4 times 1 times -45 all over 2 times 1. So simplifying farther, we have minus a negative on the 4. Minus a negative is positive. Plus or minus, and be really careful about your signs here. So we have -4 squared. The negative is within the parentheses, so the negative gets squared as well as the 4. So we've got a 16 there. And -4 times -45, negative times negative is a positive. So we'll have 16 plus 4 times 45. 4 times 45 is 180. 180 plus 16 is 196. All over 2 times 1, which is just 2. Okay, next we need to take the square root of 196, which is 14. So we've got 4 plus or minus 14 all over 2. And this gives us 2 answers, the plus or the minus. So 4 plus 14 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And then the other answer is 4 minus 14, or -10, divided by 2 is -5. So there we've got the exact same answer solved in a third way using the quadratic formula. Now, would I use this method if I could just factor it? No. But if I can't factor it, then the quadratic formula is a surefire way. Even if you end up getting something negative underneath your square root, you can solve using imaginary numbers if you go on to learn that in a college algebra class. So it's a really useful tool, is knowing that quadratic formula.